evening, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you so much for joining me on this excursion into the High Sierras. We will be hiking the tallest mountain for miles. I also want to extend a special thanks to Charlie for bringing the fantastic food. I mean, honestly, those were the best barbecue ribs I think I've ever had in my entire life. Thank you so much. So folks, come on, gather around close to the fire here. After a meal, you might be a little tired. And from what I understand, these are not the woods to be all sleepy back in the shadows in. You see, about 25 years ago, in the lake just around the mountain here, during day camp, a young boy was swimming while the chaperones were off in the bushes making whoopee. The boy drowned. And every year around this time, they say that he comes out of the lake, now a full-grown man, wielding a machete and wearing a beat-up hockey mask. They know he's come around by the trail of bodies left on the shore. There's another story about these woods. About 20 years ago, 3 young adults set off with their camcorder in hand. They were investigating rumors of a witch that haunted these woods. After they left, they were never seen again alive. And perhaps the most famous of the legends in these woods is that of the biggest grizzly bear this side of the Atlantic. I don't know if there are grizzly bears on the other side of Atlantic, but you get my point. He was huge. He stood from here up to here, and that's when he was on all fours. His teeth were big, nasty, and sharp. His claws were as big as my forearms. This thing was a brute. And he was identifiable not just by his massive size or his ferocity, but by 2 distinct bald spots where he survived a shotgun blast. One on the top of his head and the other on his bum. Fellow Toastmasters, these are not tales of these woods. These are just clips from some of my favorite movies as a kid. But I will be honest with you, I do have a story about a bear in these very woods. It was about 20 years ago. My wife and I woke up, we were camping here in this very campground. We put on our hiking shoes and our shorts, we had on our wicking shirts, we threw our backpacks on, we had our Cliff Bars in our pockets and our bottles of water. And we set out, headed around the lake in which the boy did not drown, and we took off into the wilderness, into the void. The area was wide open, I remember. The trail was wide too, and the dirt was soft. And as we were walking, whoa, what did we come across here but a big pile of poop? It looks like something had voided itself here. So being the inquisitive people we were, we got down and we used our eyes and we looked at the poop. We used our nose and we smelled it. We took sticks and touched it. We did not taste it, but we used all the other senses. It was certainly bear droppings, but we would not be deterred. We stood up and we continued hiking. Now you see, my wife, she's from this area. She's a native. And she starts telling me all the things you're supposed to do or not do when you see a bear. Now you know, honey, if you see a bear, the last thing you want to do is run away. You see, they're either going to think that you're a plaything and they're going to chase after you, or they're going to think you're food and they're going to chase after you. Either way, it's going to catch you and maul you. You can't outrun a bear. If you do encounter a bear, you need to make yourself as big as possible. Stand on your tippy toes. Put your arms out. Grab some sticks and wave them around. You want to look just as formidable as that beast. Okay. I have this tendency when my wife talks to just space out a little bit. You see, I was thinking about the strategy when you see a bear to play dead. To play dead, to lay down on the ground. Bear's coming after you, lay down and play dead? We're going to rely on my acting skills here? This is ridiculous. We continued walking. The wide clearing narrowed. The trail narrowed, and it became rocky. And suddenly, the trail started going down into a little glen of fir trees like the ones that surround us. My wife took the lead, still yapping away about something. And then all of a sudden, she twists. She extends her arm parallel with the earth. She extends her wrist perpendicular with the earth, making a professional armbar that would make any lineman jealous. And she shoves it into my shoulder, nearly spinning me around and knocking me off balance. She's kicking rocks, literally, down the hill as she yells, "Bear!" And I turn and I look, and of course there's a bear crossing the trail. It's a little baby bear, so I know Mama can't be far. And I think for a split second, all the things she was just telling me to do and not to do, and I figure, oh well, she's running, I better run too, just to make sure she's safe, you know. And so we run all the way around the lake, all the way back to this very campground. And needless to say, obviously, we made it out alive. Now, what is the point of this, folks? What is the point of the bear story? Well, I'll break it down for you. On our hike tomorrow, we will encounter some dangerous terrain, and we must be careful. Don't wander off by yourself, always bring a partner. All those good rules of safety that common sense will tell you. That's rule number 1, use common sense. We are going to be getting up tomorrow at 4 a.m. We'll have time for a little something to eat. We're going to break camp. It takes us an hour to get to the valley floor. From there, we can have a little more breakfast, but we need to hit the trail by 6. We'll take Canyon Trail up to Goodspeed Trail, and that will take us to the very top of the mountain. There's an old rocky area that we can stand and expose ourselves to the void that follows being at such a high altitude. Now, did you hear what I said? We're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to make my way to bed. I don't know about you guys, but I need my beauty sleep, and I think that's probably obvious. So I suggest that you guys follow suit. But before I get to bed, I want to make another suggestion. For those of you that came with a sleeping bag, you may want to consider sleeping with the zipper down. If a masked psychopath with a machete shows up, or a witch flies overhead on her broomstick, or a massive man-eating bear shows up, the last thing you want to do is try to make your getaway hopping along like a human-headed pupa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the morning. Good night.